Flosstube, it's Shelly KX Stitch on Instagram, and it's only stitching. Oh, I got cat hair on YouTube, and it is April 25th, Friday. It's beginning 2025. It's the beginning of. I should really start this over. It's the beginning of 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. If you start on Friday, look, you can see the cat fur flying. There's a lot of cat fur at my house. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for watching. Here we go. I worked on Welcome to the North Pole by Primrose Cottage. This was a PDF. Primrose Cottage stitches. And I worked mostly right here. So the last time I'd gone to the bottom, so that's why it's crazy threads everywhere. But this time I went back up and I worked on, I filled in the present, and then I started to fill in the tree, and then I did the last two peppermints, the red of those. And this is on 16 Count Coastal by PTP, Picture This Plus. And I didn't get a whole lot done on that, but at least I did something because seriously, it's been around since I had a good printer, so it's been a while. Oh, I got some glasses that should show the lights really well. I don't even know if I'm going to wear them. I might put them on. They're 3.0 readers, but they go to 0 at the top, so they're stronger at the bottom. So hopefully you could sit at a retreat and see the people across from you and not be like trying to fiddle with your glasses the whole time. This is my little planner. I don't have anything written since the 14th I stopped, so that was good. Yeah, at least I wrote before that. I got the PNPS in the mail, Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and I have the Luciana, I'm not going to say it right, Crochete a Go-Go. Looks cute in there. Usually these have been like too big. I'd rather have them be smalls, so we'll see what I do. I usually do Barbara Anna's. I don't even know what the Barbara Anna is in here. This one's cute. Oh my gosh, that was loud. Sorry about that. I think this one's cute too. I guess there's more in here. Maybe, let's see. Okay, this one is by Sugar Maple Designs. So I do like that one too. Although I don't like doing like this kind of line. So we'll see. Probably not. I worked on Take Wing by Mojo Stitches. This is a Quaker. I am very bad at Quakers. I think I picked this up 6 times and I've ripped 4 of the times that I picked up. So these are Australian flowers and birds. And I'm pretty sure this is Whimsy. It's something by Picture This Plus. And it's using a lot of cottage garden threads that are called for. I got this as a kit from Jen's Stitching Niche. And so I did a lot on this. I started I think they're cranes. My stepmom and I looked up what they were on her blog, on Mojo Stitch's blog. So I did the cranes, I did this. I think that's the Christmas flower. And I think I did this one too. So these two have birds in them, but those are more fun. So I'm trying to get the parts done that I don't enjoy, like the repetitive Quaker stuff. And the motifs in the middle are easier, I think. And that one's pretty repetitive. But like here, this one I don't have done. That's a bird, and that's a bird too. So that'll be easier. So that's reward. That's a reward stitch, part of this. I worked on Tiny Town Nativity by Heart and Hand. This came out at market this year. And I'm changing the colors, and I super messed up on this one. I made it like too tall, so then I had to cut off the top. Well, you'll see. It doesn't bother me though, because they're not the same on both sides, and I like them to be different anyway. So there's what I have so far. I'm trying to make it more like Christmas colors, because I mean, this is pretty fall colors to me. And if you're gonna have it out at Christmas time. So I put red and pink. This is a really pretty color. This is the, what is it called? Hayride by Live and Dye LA. They dye some thread, so that's a cotton thread. And they also had some fabric that color that I bought. Super pretty. I like how it variegates quickly. Gifts of the season. This was a new purchase. I got a couple of things from 123 Stitch when I realized that a remake of this huge sampler is in here, so that's what I wanted to do. So there's no restitched one of their adaptation. So I guess this is the best picture of this. They moved it to center it. Like, I of course like this one better because it's crazy and it's off center. And they took off the lions, which made me disappointed. And they also changed the border, which I really like this border. It's like three berry zigzag, and I think they put in the strawberry border, which is not my favorite. Let me see. Yeah, strawberry border on the top, leaves on the sides, strawberry border on the bottom. So that's not happening. And I also got this piece of fabric. This is Prairie by Picture This Plus. Is that right? That might be a lie. Somewhere in here I did use Prairie. This might be doubloon. Prairie's lighter. No, this is not Prairie. Prairie is like yellow. This is doubloon by Picture This Plus. So I started with that, and I changed the colors. So I'm using a different green, which I don't even think I like their green better, but I can't stand changing greens on Blackbird when it's like the same color all the time. So I tried to get a variegated green. Then I mostly worked on Springo, and I finished my Springo board, and I had 2 bingos, so that's exciting. They only did it for 25 days. Today was the last day. I did ABC samplers, Pat sampler, so that's CML. Pat's my stepmom. CML 1810 by Mrs. Flossie. R is religious, so that is Mary Beale Advent. I is Isabella Fox by GGR. That's next. N is Nativity for Joyous. What is the name? It's by Birds of a Feather that Colorado Cross Stitcher has re-released with permission from them, with collaboration from them. What's it called? Joyous Noel? Anyway, it's a nativity, so it's under N. And G is, what is G? Well, I could have done G for GGR. G is Grace Bridges by Stacey Nash. And O is OMG, it's huge. That's Dutch Beauty. So those are coming up. That's what you'll see right now. Okay, Isabella Fox by GGR. Also been around a long time because I had the color printer working. And I'm still up here. I filled in this part. I did that. I started the tree. So I did all this, started the tree, and I did another line. You can't even see it. I did another line of words down there. So this is on Color and Cotton aged paper, which is it's kind of like that. It's a funny color. It's kind of odd. It's kind of fall-like, which these colors are kind of fall-like too, but I added some pinks, and the picture didn't look like the colors that were called for. Like this color I think is a pink, but I thought, oh, I'll do kind of a silver, so I did a gray for that. I made this pinker just because I like pink. This is a Vicki Clayton, so that's really different. So I, like I said, I did all this, I did that, I ripped out this bird and did it again, and I think I did these, and then I did this. So far it says, be thou faithful unto, give thee a crown. So this is just half of each line. And I started the big tree because I thought, oh my gosh, you should start that huge tree, because that's a huge amount of this. So I guess it's Adam and Eve and Tree of Knowledge. So there's that. And then I worked on CML 1810 by Mrs. Flossie, who gave me this because she, what would you call this? It's a recreation, kind of a reimagination of a sampler that my stepmom gave me that was in her family. So this is actually smaller, which is a good thing. I started doing the whole thing, and then I'm like, oh, and then Amy redid it, so this is much better. It's much more organized, even though it doesn't look like it, it's much more organized than the original. So this is on Wren by PTP, and I did a ton of this because I only had like part of this gold done, and then I had these red, I think. So I did the rest of that. I did all this, and I put in Adam and Eve. I made them darker. They were yellow haired, so I made them browner. They were supposed to be like this color, which is kind of a weird gray color, so I made them 3863, I think, and then I made their hair brown. And I changed some of these to pink because I'm going to put more of this pink in like this. And this one is messed up. It's too low. This one's correct so far. I might leave this one. I might take it out. So it's too low, and then I had to make it one shorter, so it's not right at all. And then what else did I put in here? I think I'm going to take these out and put some pink in these, make these flowers pink. Oh, I changed this too, because this was red, pink, and yellow, and it looked really like a Toltec symbol or something. I don't know. It just looked odd to me, so I changed it, and I didn't fill in all the color because it's supposed to be a little more triangular than that. There's more red in it. And let's see. I put in this line, which is wrong. I put in that because that's going to be a vase of tulips. They have like a checkerboard middle, so that's kind of interesting. Then this thing, I'm trying to start on this because that's a lot of little red circles. So we'll see how that goes. So I mostly used the called for, except for I added the darker pink red. So I added this color. I changed that. That was a red, so I changed that from 221. And then I totally added the lighter pink. And I'm using it in place of some of this lighter pink, and I used it in place of some of the tans. I think that's all I did recently. I don't know. I did work on this a lot. This got called a lot for SPRINGO. I guess maybe it got called 2 or 3 times, but I probably worked on it like 8 times or something. I'm trying to get this done. I'm trying to get this done, so I'm working on it more. This was the S call for a series, or it's also samplers, ABC samplers by Little House Needleworks. I worked with the LMN and the UVW. So you can see these colors. It's kind of like a brick and a brown for the houses. And I'm still doing that, a brown for the house, the top house. This is on Smoky Pearl. And I don't think it's over. I don't know. It's on Smoky Pearl. I don't know who does it. It's a handwritten tag. I don't know where I got it. So I filled in the pink house and the windows, and then I finished the roof on this one, and I also put some extra snow, like snow here and snow on there. That's the bad thing about SPRINGO or BRINGO. It's a magazine monthly cross-stitch challenge group on Facebook run by Carolyn Zook and Robin from Little Robin Designs, and Carolyn C. Zook Stitch on YouTube. And the bad thing is you see how little 100 stitches is, because I usually did 100 stitches. So, like, even just doing, oh, here comes Nexie. I can't believe the table shook that much because she weighs less than my other cat. Next, you want to see? This is why there's fur everywhere. Did you see her fur? I know, you're a good girl. You see how little 100 stitches is, because I worked on that, I think, twice for SPRINGO. She's like, I really don't like being held too much. You want to go on my chair? That's where all my stuff is going to go when it's done. Right by you. You'll be so happy. So that was 100 stitches the last time I worked on it, just filling in the roof. And I think the roof and all these windows and then the white on this one was 100. And then this was over 100, I'm pretty sure. So that was the 2 times I worked on that. So this is 9 blocks. So I guess I'm over halfway. That's good. Yeah, she's settling down on the chair. And Birds of a Feather. I talked about Colorado Cross Stitcher. We did this one. I changed it, some of it. I don't know. I'm just doing whatever I feel like for the colors. So I worked on this one, and I added at least one sheep, the outside sheep, And I started doing where baby Jesus is laying, and I finished Joseph because he was just like a face and had no skin, had no hair, and I don't think his robe was finished either. And then I'm pretty sure I finished doing this guy, and then I started filling in this guy, and I don't know where the rest of the pink is. And I put his skin in, and I found the color for the angel's feet, so I put that in. I think that's it. Some of the sheep, like I had so much trouble with this guy's robe. Like, see how it's supposed to be white around the outside, and then I did it dark, and then I had trouble. It's supposed to be white with little black dots, and I could not. First I put in blue dots, and then he looked patriotic for the U.S. because he was red, white, and blue looking, even though my dots were gray. They were gray, they weren't blue, but they looked blue. And so I changed it, and I made the sheep under him be all white so the legs of that sheep wouldn't blend into his robe. So then I made this sheep all white also. So I ended up doing him with pink dots on his robe, which I'm sure this is supposed to be like ermine or something, like the fur. I think it's supposed to be a fur, but I blew it. So anyway, that's what it looks like now. And I should get their gifts in because they're all just holding out their hands. He's going to be next with both of these need their hair and their faces put in. It's so funny because I usually do that on mirrors and stuff, like put the face in first. But I did not. Okay, this one is the O from Springo, and it's Mary Beale Advent, and it's 24 blocks, and they're like, I think 75 by 92 each. And I was working on Adam and Eve, and I bought this used, so some of the blocks were done by somebody else. And so this is what the block looks like that I'm working on. I don't know what I'm going to do, because see how the arms, like they make the arms a little bit darker than the body, but it doesn't seem like it works very well. And the faces are super, super ghosty. So those body colors are going to be changed. I worked on the tree and the butterfly, and I filled in the moon or the sun, something. I don't think it was all the way filled in. And I know I think I showed you I had filled in the clouds for one of the Springo calls. So I have, I think, almost all of these done. And so here's the butterfly. These are mostly the called for NPI because I did buy the floss with it that came with whatever the person had left that she had started already. So I'm sure I'm gonna have to buy more NPI, but then one of the greens is also a DMC because it's like the same color, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of green in this. I don't think I'm gonna buy a bunch of NPI greens. So some of these greens are probably DMC. And I haven't put a face in the sun. I don't think I will. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I did the purple on this too. This I didn't even change the colors in this, and it has purple in it, which is weird, and it's got a lot. It's an old pattern, so it's got a lot of old coloring in it. So I probably should have updated the coloring, but I did not. Okay, and this is Grace Bridges by Stacy Nash, and I got a download, so I have no picture. I should have at least printed out a black and white copy of the cover page, but I did not. And it's on platinum by Zweigart, not hand dyed, so it's pretty stiff. And I got a lot done on this because I started this for Springo. So this is all I did the whole month on it. I think this got called 5 times. So this is a house and then a peacock. So the most recent ones I just worked down. So the most recent ones I did was this, and then I had the head on, so I put the body the rest of the way in the legs and this bird. And I might put some alphabet in too. But I like this because even though I don't like this type of border, this is almost a strawberry border. There's not that much of it because it doesn't go all the way around. I think it's just the top and the bottom, or maybe just the top. I don't know, sorry, I don't have a picture of it. Oh, you know what? I probably do have a picture of it because my iPad is sitting here because I'm getting ready to watch Jen Lee and her mom do 24 hours of cross stitch for April. So my iPad is sitting here. See, I should look at all photos. Do I have? I thought I had a picture of this one time, so it's in here somewhere. And can I find it now? There's so much cross stitch to do, you know? When I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get back to that. I gotta find that. That's my spring Quaker that I'm working on, I think. No. Oh, here's Nexie again. Look at the cat while I'm... Yeah, I don't think I did. Sorry, I thought I had a picture. I do not. Maybe I'll have one next time. Yeah, you know I won't. And then this was my O for SPRINGO. It's called Dutch Beauty, even though it's called Hollandish Shona. I don't know, 1790. Shona is like beauty. It's by Perman of Copenhagen. I never remember that's who did this. But anyway, it's huge. It's like 1,000,000 by 1,000,000 now. It's, I don't know what it is. To tell you the sizes, so in 16 count, it's going to be 78 by 48 centimeters. So there you go, you centimeter people. US really lagged on that one. I do not know centimeters very well at all. You'd think there's a stitch count somewhere, wouldn't you? I don't know, I don't see it. But that's big. Because I did cut this with probably a 3-inch border. And this is how big it's gonna be. So this is the right size. And one day there's that green is in the middle, it goes all the way across. So that's how big it's gonna be side to side. So I was mostly working down here, and I finished the 2 small tulips, this big tulip I just did last night. No, this big tulip I just finished the darker pink, and I started doing, see, like there's this really weird lavendery color, but I still used it. And I added like a couple of colors to this because one of them doesn't show up. And then I did this vase. See this part right here, just this dark, that's 100 stitches. I'm like, oh no. And I know this month I also finished these flowers, probably most of these flowers. And then I was also working on this was the last call, was from SPRINGO was this, and I was doing this. I was working on this vase. And I also finished, I think this one, there was a little bit that needed to be done. So I thought maybe I'll take this, if I can get enough of this started, I can take it to a retreat for fill-in, because that's fill-in. And then these are pretty easy to find. You just do red circles around those, so those can be done easily. This one can be filled in, because it's just like this, so it's just filled in with that kind of, this is really a purpley, I don't know what color that is, but it's purple. It doesn't look that bad. I really just don't like purple. And I also have done this, I think this month, so I need to finish this tree. There's another deer over here, but it's not exactly the same because see how low this one is? There's another fruit. So this one's pretty fun to work on. It's just a little bit daunting of like, ooh, it's a lot of work. I could probably finish, like 4 other samplers instead of this. That's when you start thinking like, I don't know if it's a good use of time, but I really do like it. And I like that it's big. So, I know I could have just looked up Grace Bridges. I hate it when people do this forever. Okay, here's what Grace Bridges looks like. Oh yeah, that's the only border, is the top border. By Stacy Nash Designs. And she prims it up afterwards. So I'm using all DMC, so I can spray it with some stuff later. But there's a lot of fun stuff on the bottom, a lot of birds, a lot of peacocks. So that's Grace Bridges. Okay, and then the last thing, this is also something I bought from Market when I made a later purchase. I bought this one and the other, no, this one I bought my original Market. The Sweet Birds Sing that I've showed you before. And then this is the prayer. Nope, this is not the prayer. What did I do prayer? I don't know. Somewhere I started stitching on prairie and I don't have it. So I stitched the Sweet Birds Sing. This is a small. So she has this in here twice. One says Dear Friend, one has, I think, an A. So I basically stitched this, but I didn't put this one on because I wanted to make it smaller, and I changed this to a rose because the other thing has, let me see, the long, what do you call these things? Housewife. So this one, the big one has a lot of roses, so I did take this rose and put it in to the small, so I can feel like I got use out of my book. This is some crappy fabric. I don't know. I do not like stitching on it. It snags with my needle. It's very weird. And I changed some of the colors and made it pinker, but I like this color. This was the original Dove, Weeks Dove. Is that kind of blue color? There we go. That's pretty good. And I just made the gold lighter and the pinks brighter. I used like Carrie Berry, and I'll tell you, this pink was the hardest one to find. Don't know what I used for it. So, like, I don't know. I think I shouldn't have used the Holly Berry because it made it kind of dark. Because all these were just supposed to be leaves like this, like green and green. But I decided to put some red in for some reason. So I could have just done like this dark pink and it would have been pinker. I don't know. It's fine. It's a small. You're done before you even, care. Okay, I think that's it. Which it isn't because I know I've forgotten some stuff. So this one was a start and a finish. So, and I feel like I finished something else, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. Let's see. This is moving on to. Let me think if I have any cross stitch, because I'm famous for like saying, okay, now life update, you can go. There's no more cross stitch, but there always is. So cross stitch wise, for plans, I need to work more on some Christmas stuff because I just don't get it done if I only work in July, November, December, or even October, November, December. So I'll probably do some more Christmas. I'm going to try and finish up CML. And I'm going on a retreat the end of May, but I should be back before then, right? Yeah, I'll try and come back right before then. And let me think if there's anything else that I plan to work on. That Blackbird one is just huge. The other Blackbird one. Oh my gosh, I also, see, I don't have it here. I also started Leela's Studio Peace on Earth Quaker. The huge ones that are like the spring, the autumn, those Quakers that she has. It has like a medallion in the middle and just Quakers. And I blame Sandy for that. Stitching with Sandy on YouTube. Because she's like, I'm getting it as soon as I'm getting it. As soon as I get it, I'm starting it. So she's all excited. So I'm like, okay. So I did start. I started in the middle in case I decide not to do the Quakers, and because I just have to rip them because I can't fudge them because then they won't be symmetrical, and I always make mistakes, and I'd rather have it be like, my favorite things are samplers that their motifs are kind of spaced out. So if you mess up by 1 or 2 stitches, it doesn't matter because there's enough room that they still don't run into the one next to it. So anyway, I did start that, and I got a couple of houses and some snow done in the middle. That's really pretty. I really like that one. I'm going to work on that one more once I find it. I think it's at home. And so that's Christmas. So that will be something definitely I work on. And I don't think I'm going to do any smalls. I'm just going to work on more whips. I thought maybe there's 10 more calls on the SPRINGO board that didn't get called because we only did 25 days and there were 35 numbers on the board because it was 7 projects and then 5 calls for each project. So I have 10 of those left. So I was gonna just finish up and work on all of them 5 times. So that's 10 more calls. We'll see if I do that because I get kind of tired of the same pieces, even though it was 7, and even though I did work on other stuff too. Some stuff, I don't even know, because if I felt like working on something, I did. There's a couple of things like CML and Take Wing I'm trying to get done. And so those I probably pull out more than I feel like doing. But usually I just stitch whatever I want when I want. Oh, my nose is so itchy. It's because I have cat fur all over me. So I think I'm going to work on, this is going to be funny. So probably not small. So let's see if the next thing I pick up is a small. Oh, I was like, I forgot something. See, I dropped it on the ground. This is by Brenda Gervais, and it's called, I think it's called Keeper of the Pins. And it's a booklet with several smalls and I borrowed this from my friend Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. She's CHEPOR on Instagram. And so I had this one done. I'm going to make this one into like a scissor fob. And then I had this one almost done. Oh, look, this still has so this is Seraphim Antique Lace. Oh, I just made a Seraphim mortar because it feels so nice. It's like it has a little bit of body, but it's still, not stiff. So I like that. So what I did on this one, I had the bird mostly done. I had the bird done except for the pins on the back. So I don't know. I usually do backstitch in 2 threads because I'm using 2 threads on the rest of it, but I think it looks messy. But again, it's a small, so I don't think I really care. And then I had the tomato done and the strawberry, I think. No, maybe not the strawberry. So I did all the spools. I had the clamp done. And this is Antique Rose, which is kind of orangey, so I'm kind of surprised I used that because I like a a blue pink. But it's fine. And turned out cute. So here's a small I have to finish. So that's a FO, finished object. Okay, so let's see. I should look on the floor on the other side too. No, only the cat. She's still on the chair. So let's see. We had Easter. Happy Easter. Late. My daughter-in-law had her birthday. The weekend before she came here, so we had to clean this house, and she was having friends spend the night, so we had to clean everything, change all the beds, wash all the quilts and blankets because our cats are everywhere. So, that was a lot of laundry. And at the same time, my stepmom was coming to our house at home, so that house had to be cleaned, and same thing washed, except for our room. We just left the furry blankets on our bed, but I had to do the guest room quilt and blankets and all that stuff. So a lot of bathrooms, a lot of vacuuming, a lot of washing sheets and bedding. But I think that all went well. My husband and I went out on the boat, and we did see like 2 whales sound and show their their tail. And we're like, we're kind of spoiled because we had such a really great whale watching season last year because we just saw tons. I showed it. We saw tons when we were just floating in the ocean, and there was a research boat out there, and they're just circling whales and going under us and stuff. And then we went to Hawaii and went whale watching and saw a ton of humpbacks, and they were showing their tails too, their fluke. And so we saw like 20 that day. So nothing is going to compare to those 2 trips. So we're like, oh, it's kind of boring. And we saw like 1,000 dolphins because there's a huge pot of dolphins that live out here in the Channel Islands channel. So that was fun, but it was cold. It was like, no, don't laugh. It was 57, and it's windy when you're on the boat because it's a Zodiac, so it's like a fast, the ones that have the blow up sides. They use them a lot for little excursions when you're on vacation somewhere tropical, and they're super stable, and they use them for rescue by the seals. So I feel very safe in it because it's super stable, and even if all the what are they called? The tubes. Even if all the tubes deflate, it still will float. So anyway, so that's a lot about the boat. Almost fell in the water again when I jumped to the dock, but I did not, but I bruised my shin. It's like, oh man, that's when you're glad that it's really quiet around here and no one's watching you. Okay, so So we saw my son and daughter-in-law and her two friends. They stopped by our house before they came here. And so that was really fun. And she's starting to crochet, so I gave her a Woobles. And then it was really nice having my stepmom over. Like a couple times I just looked over and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. It's so fun. So she was here like Thursday through Sunday, Palm Sunday. And then for Easter, we went over to my daughters, and my two grandsons did their egg hunt. The 1-year-old, found one egg and then was excited about that. It wasn't even filled with anything. He just liked it, tried to eat it. And so we got there like 7:15 in the morning, which means I got up at like 6:20. We stayed there till 1:30. I came home and I took a very long nap because, man, they're tiring chasing them around. So that was fun. We had a good Easter. And what else was I going to say? I went thrift shopping with one of my friends from jury duty. How do you make friends? I make friends at jury duty now. And I went to another store myself, and I finally found a magazine holder. It's one that sits on the ground. Do I have it sitting here? No, I do not. It's by the front door. So that's good. I was looking for that for a while, and I bought stuff to sand it and paint it a different color. But we'll see if I ever do that, because I usually buy all the stuff and then don't do it. And I think that's about it. It's finally getting warmer. It's been like kind of mid-60s for the high, which is a little bit too cold for me to be sitting outside with the wind. But yesterday was over 70. Today it's already 70. It's like noon, probably 12:30 right now. And so I'm going to go sit outside and stitch and watch Jen Lee and her mom do their 24 hours of cross stitch for April recap, because they filmed it last weekend, because Jen's on a work trip this weekend when it's really supposed to be. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you all are having fun stitching. Tell me in the comments what you're stitching on, and I usually try not to end a sentence with a preposition, but there you go. And it doesn't even have to be what you were stitching on while you were watching this. It could just be what you're working on in general. And let's see. There's some new floss tubes. Let's see if I can do this right. One is Jeremiah's mom, Katie, so I watch her. And then another new one is Stitching with Charlie, Charlae. And both of them I met on Laura Stitching by the Shore Zoom for April Friends Day, April 1st. So they are both very, very delightful people. I really enjoy watching them. And who else? I always think like, man, there's so many people I watch that might be newer and I don't mention them, and it's really bad, but not like I have my 2 viewers can go over and watch their stuff. I think that's all. Okay, so everybody take care. Happy stitching. I just looked outside and it looks like our fence, which is public property, so it's like public land right next to us. It looks like it's going. They had one fall down across the way, so it's not good. So I guess we'll be calling them the city and seeing how long the city takes to do anything. All right, so take care. Thanks for watching.